I thought it'd be good to do Nikki Haley. She's running for president. She was a governor of South Carolina. South Carolina, yeah. And then she was a U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, I believe it was. And then she quit that job when Trump got in so much trouble, and now she's running for president. So I hope you like the video. If you like the video, please do like the video. Where are my hands? There they are. Like the video. And if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. And thank you very much for watching. Hey, I'm Mark, and this is my journey through tarot. Come on. I thought it might be a good idea to get us caught up on exactly who Nikki Haley is, what's her background, where's she from, how is she where she is, and what does she think about governing. So I've got a little short information to tell you, a little short bit of information to tell you, and I'll put some pictures in there, and then we'll do a draw. So in 1972, Nimrata Nikki Haley, her maiden name is Randhawa, was born on January 20th. She's an Aquarius. And by the way, I've got a monitor that I read here off to the side. Am I looking that way? Okay, this way. That I read off to that way. I read off to the side, and so that's why I'm staring into the corner and not looking at you, and I apologize. But anyway, so she was born on January 20th. She's an Aquarius from Bamberg, South Carolina, and is known by her middle name, which is a Punjabi name, Nikki. Her immigrant Sikh parents are from Punjab, India, and her father and mother immigrated to the USA. Dad was a professor at Punjab Agricultural University, and Mom received a law degree from the University of Delhi. They moved to Canada after Dad received a scholarship from the University of British Columbia. And with his PhD in 1969, they moved to South Carolina, him as a professor at Voorhees College, historically black institution, and her mom then also earned a master's degree in education and taught for 7 years in South Carolina public schools. In 1976, Mom started a popular clothing boutique that closed in 2008. Now, Haley has a sister born in Canada who became a radio host and Fashion Institute of Technology alumna, plus 2 brothers. One is retired as a member of the United States Army Chemical Corps, having served in Desert Storm, and the other brother is a web designer with an accounting degree from Clemson University, so quite a productive family. In 1984, at age 12, Nikki helped at her mother's ladies' clothing shop, eventually becoming its bookkeeper and chief financial officer. And then in 1989, Nikki graduated from private school, Orangeburg Preparatory. In 1994, she graduated from Clemson University with a bachelor's degree in accounting. And in 1995, after college, Nikki worked for a waste management recycling company until 2004. But in 1996, she married Michael Haley, that's where she gets the last name. And in 1998, she was named to the board of directors of the Orangeburg County Chamber of Commerce. Man. Now, in 2003, she was named to the board of directors of Lexington Chamber of Commerce and treasurer of the National Association of Women's Business Owners, then its president in 2004, and was first elected to the South Carolina House of Representatives also in 2004, where she served 3 terms. She ran for State House of Representatives, becoming the first Indian American to hold office in South Carolina. 2006, she was unopposed for a 2nd term. 2008, she won a 3rd term. And 2010 was elected as the first female governor of South Carolina, the youngest governor in the country, and the 2nd governor of Indian descent. Wow. 2011, Nikki signed an Arizona-style law cracking down on illegal immigration for South Carolina. And then in 2012, Nikki credited Hillary Clinton with inspiring her to run for office, saying, "I ran because Hillary said when it comes to women in office, everybody tells you why you shouldn't, but that's all the reasons why we must." And Nikki walked out thinking, that's it, I'm running for office. Haley implemented a plan where teachers' salaries are based, in South Carolina, by the way, implemented a plan where teachers' salaries are based not only on seniority and qualification, but also job performance from evaluations and reports from principals, students, and parents. And she supports school choice and charter schools. She, choosing where you're going to go to school in charter schools. She supports barring legislatures from collecting legislative pensions while in office, and they should be based only on the $10,400 legislative salary, not also plus the $12,000 annual expense allowance. Man, they were getting a good deal there. Nikki says, as a daughter of immigrants, immigration laws should be enforced, and she voted in favor of employers providing new hires, proving that new hires are legal, and all immigrants should always carry documentation proving they are legal. She is also pro-life and restricting abortion. She likes that. 2013, Haley was fined $3,500 by the State Ethics Commission, plus a public warning for failing to report the addresses of 8 donors for her 2010 campaign for governor. Then 2014, she won re-election. 2015, she supported flying the Confederate flag on the State House grounds after the Charleston church shooting, then signed a bill to remove the Confederate flag from the grounds of the South Carolina Capitol. 2016, she would not support legislation requiring transgenders using restrooms based on their gender assigned at birth. She wouldn't support that. 2017 to 18, Haley was the 29th United States ambassador to the United Nations. Trump appointed her. And the first, and the Congress, she was approved, and the first Indian American member of a presidential cabinet before resigning a day after an anti-corruption watchdog said she accepted 7 luxury private plane trips as gifts from South Carolina business leaders. She declared to the UN Security Council that Russian sanctions for the Crimean conflict would not be lifted until Russia returned control to Ukraine. She would not support a ban on Muslim immigration to the United States, saying we should never ban based on religion. And in 2019, Haley was nominated to the board of directors of Boeing with a minimum yearly compensation of $315,000. Critics say the offer was due to favorable official actions she took for Boeing while in South Carolina office. That's what they said. Now, in 2021, regarding Trump's second impeachment trial, Nikki said, we need to acknowledge he let us down. He went down a path in insurrection, which are my words, not hers. We shouldn't have, and we shouldn't have followed him. And or he shouldn't have gone down that path, and we shouldn't have followed him, and we shouldn't have listened to him, and we can't let that ever happen again. She was angry Trump took no action to protect Vice President Pence, saying angry is an understatement, but would support Trump for president in 2024. She is for congressional term limits, a mandatory mental competence test for politicians over 75 years old. And then finally, in 2023, she announced her campaign as a candidate in the Republican Party presidential primaries for president of the United States. And that's Nikki Haley. So now we'll do the cards. All right, so I've got this beautiful deck, the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot, and they're just attractive looking, and they gave me kind of an Indian feel. So I thought, why not do that? It just seems to me the Indian garb and the way they go about life seems to be so rich and decorative and I don't know, beautiful. So these cards kind of fit all those descriptions, and I thought, well, these will be good. So we'll see how they go. So Nikki Haley, I don't know if she's controversial. Trump, I think he puts people or hires people or wants people around him who look to him like what he considers successful, or speak to him the way he wants to be spoken to. In other words, I think groom him. So I don't know. But anyway, so Nikki Haley, we'll see how this goes for her. But oh yeah, we got to do just a moment meditation. So let's see what the cards will tell us for Nikki Haley. I have to admit, I mean, I tend to like the Democrats. But a lot of what she seems to stand for I like, and some of it I don't. But that's with any politician, I guess. Democrat, Republican, Independent, whoever comes down the pike. I kind of look at everything they represent, but I certainly these days have a huge suspicion about Republicans. I mean, the very fact that she's willing to support Trump, and I got to get my card, so I'm going to disappear for a second here. That she's willing to support Trump, or she said she would if he ran in 2024, and then she decided to go ahead and run when she told him what she said she would not run if Trump was running. So, politicians. But let's see how it goes. Her parents are incredibly successful. Her siblings are very successful. What's not to like? So, will Nikki Haley have any success in her presidential bid? In other words, any success at all. Not that she'll win it, but will she have success up to some point? Let's do 3 cards on that and see how they come out. You have to admit, when she's put her mind to anything in her career, it looks like she's made it happen. So first card, will she have any success in this presidential bid? Well, look at this. She's got a plan. This is the Ace of Wands. Wands are actions, plans, forward movement, and she's got a big, strong plan. The next card, will she have any success? Look at this. She's a star. This is the Sun card. So the Sun card is a very hopeful card to have. And then the last card, good heavens. Okay, so this is the Ace of Coins, and I think she's going to amass a pretty good war chest. So this looks like she could do really well. Let's see what happens. Some have said they believe that she's really running for vice president, and she might believe that Trump would win the presidency, and if she puts on a good show, she could be vice president. Who would want to be vice president under Trump? That just seems crazy. So, will Trump pick her to run as his vice presidential running mate? 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. Let's see how this comes out. Will Trump choose Nikki Haley as his vice presidential running mate if he runs? Wow. Again, a repeated card, and it's the Ace of Coin. Next card, which indicates a tremendous amount of value, or it may just be money, period. Next card, a broken heart. 3 of Swords, truth, justice, rules, and law. And the question is, will Trump choose Nikki Haley? And the last card is Temperance. Temperance. So this says to me, she's a strong contender, but the base card here is this broken heart, truth, justice, rules, and law. And then the final card for this question is Temperance. And I would say she's a strong contender. It's probably not going to come to fruition because she's had to find some temperance in there. What does that mean, really? You know, I just read the cards. You're going to have to interpret this one more yourself. Sorry. You're going to find that I'm not the guy that's going to tell you what you want to hear, probably, or what I think you want to hear. I just tell you what the cards say. And sometimes you're going to have to make some decisions about that. It'd be the same if you were sitting in front of me and you asked me for a reading. I tell you what the cards say, and probably what they say means something more to you than it does to me, because heck, I'm not living your life. So, okay, last 3-card pull before we do a little read. Nikki Haley, will she be running against Trump? That'll answer 2 questions. It'll answer whether Trump runs and whether she's going to run against him. Will she be running against him? 3 cards. Will Nikki Haley be running against Trump? Okay, this is good. This is the 6 of Wands. Wands are actions, plans, forward movement, and the 6 of Wands is victory. And we're asking about Nikki Haley. Will she be running against Trump? And the first card is victory. Second card is the King of Cups, king of compassion and emotion in heartfelt situations. This cannot be Trump. I'm sorry, it just can't be. And the last card is the Queen of Cups. So I'm going to tell you what this is saying to me. That I think if she and Trump end up running together, she's going to beat him. He'll fall out, and she will come out ahead of him. That may mean that other people's come out ahead of him too. And that leads me to the next card, this King of Cups. This, I think, is who is going to be the Republican nominee. I think it's going to be a man, and it's going to be someone who somehow has some sort of compassion. I can't imagine that it's Mike Pence, but who knows? And we haven't seen the other candidates yet, have we? So we don't know who it might be. It could be some dark horse that we're not even thinking about. And then the final card for that question, will she beat Trump? I think she will. I think someone else is going to be the nominee, and I bet she's going to be the vice presidential choice for whomever that is. She'll beat Trump. There's some other unknown person, compassionate person, who will be the Republican nominee, and Nikki will be the number 2. I could be way wrong. So, and we're not going to know for some time. I'll forget all about this read in by then. But now let's go ahead and do just a 6-card draw on Nikki Haley to see what is in her future regarding this presidential run. Let's see how it turns out for her, Nikki Haley. Because the Republicans, I think, are going to have to come up with a Republican Joe Biden. You know, someone who is credible and compassionate, who can take a hold of that party. I tell you, that all sounds like Mitt Romney to me. But, okay, let's do this. I didn't mean to ask about Mitt Romney, but let's do. Will Mitt Romney run? Wow. For president. I'm going to leave those cards that came out right there. Those are the ones I'm going to use. I'm just going to read them in a line. Will Mitt Romney run for president? Okay, so it's a balancing act, finding the value in what you're doing. Okay, that's the sun again. Wow, that's the King of Cups. Things the way they used to be. And being offered something you don't quite want. Will Mitt Romney run again? You know, I'm just going to go out on a limb here because it just feels right. I think that he has to find a balance. If he does find a balance, his sun will shine. If his sun shines, he will run. And this seems to me to tell me that he's going to be the Republican nominee, another old man. Because he will remind the Republicans of who they used to be. The 6 of Cups is remembering the way things were in a compassionate, emotional kind of way. And then the final card with this 4 of Cups is being offered something that you don't want, or maybe something that you don't quite get. So he could run and not really get it, but maybe the 2 of them run together. Any of those things could be it. So now, okay, let's that was a diversion that I didn't expect. So now let's talk about Nikki Haley only. Nikki Haley, Nikki Haley, Nikki Haley, Nikki Haley. Tell us in 6 cards what you can about Nikki Haley run for president. Nikki Haley's run for president. She's announced she's going to do it. 6 cards. 1, 2, 3. By the way, if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. Is that 5? And if you want to know more about these cards, just wait till the end of this video because I'll tell you all about them. Okay? So Nikki Haley's presidential run. What can the cards tell us about this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, Nikki Haley's presidential run. The signifier card is she brings to this game a great big cup of compassion. The challenge to that is, okay, this is the star card. The challenge to this compassion is her shining star. Okay. The base of this whole thing for Nikki Haley running for president, her run for president, is this Three of Pentacles, and this is building something together for public display, for public worth, for the public to look at, admire, and understand the value of it. So the base of this, of her run, is building something that the public will want. Well, of course it is. I mean, I could say that about any candidate, but that's what the card says. The past of this reading is this Four of Coins, this Four of Value, trying to hold on to your value. So the past of this is trying to hold on to your value. So the past of this, when she's running, the past will be at that point, at some point during that run, her run for presidency, her holding on to her value. And it could even mean her holding on to the funds that she's raised and needs to make that run. Could be that she has a hard time with her campaign finance funds, getting enough perhaps. In the sky of this, is being tied to lesser intentions. Nikki Haley's run for presidency, the sky of it is being tied to lesser intentions. What is the sky? The sky is what you're going to aim for. The sky is perhaps the most you could hope for. And it's up here being tied to... I've got to tell you, she doesn't strike me as the person that would do this for selfish reasons, although perhaps she does have an enormous amount of pride that she wants to that could be it. That her prideful approach to it could be the problem. And then the final outcome then is, again, not getting it. I think that's exactly... Okay, let's read it again. I think this is what... I'll tell you what I think is going to happen after I read this. So, Nikki Haley's run for president. What does it involve? Well, it involves she's bringing a great big cup of compassion to this, okay? That's how she'll be perceived and probably how she'll really attack it. But the challenge to it is her star, her shining star. The basis of this whole thing is building something together for public display. So the basis of this, I think, is going to be finding those partners to get this thing built, this campaign. Or maybe that's even at the point where she merges with someone else. She could be the front runner choosing a vice president, or she could be the vice president in another front runner's race. The past of it, I think this specifically speaks to the finances of her campaign. That will be the problem that she has. I think that will be the point where she has to give up and maybe hope to be chosen as number 2. And then the sky of this is that. She wanted to be president. When she gives that up and agrees to go to number 2, at that point she's going to be tied to lesser intention, and that's going to blow the whole game for her. And then the final outcome is that it won't be offered. She won't take it. It will be unsuccessful for Nikki Haley. That's what I think. So what do you think? I mean, with Rishi Sunak in Great Britain as Prime Minister, Rishi Haley, Nikki Haley in U.S. as President might be a good thing. We'll see. And let me know what you want me to read on, because, I'll read on that. Hey, I'm going to show you the cards now. So this is another Lo Scarabeo, the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot. And so these are super gilded is what's the deal with these. All in the Rider-Waite iconography, kind of. And a typical instruction booklet that's, not that great and a little bit difficult to read. But the what's good here is in the cards. They're kind of handy to use, so that's all good. And look at how beautiful they are. I don't know if it shows up as well on the camera as it does in person, but when you use these in person, I mean, they are really stunning, and someone feels like they're getting their money's worth. So we'll mix them up like this so that we kind of get our energy into the cards, and sometimes it's good to let the querent get their hands on them just for a minute, and then people get more involved. Once you've touched it, it's more appealing. So here we go. We'll get this going. Well, coming back tomorrow, I'll be doing it all again. So ciao for now. You really make a big difference. Thank you.